It is February, my degenerates, and apparently it is the love month for humans. Stop! I know what you're thinking. This is not February, Roz. I know. I was supposed to release this on February, but things just didn't pan out that way. Cause things happen. Anyways, let's continue on with the video. As a demon with fascination with human rituals, I decided to celebrate it by becoming a bird-like species, as you can see by this mirror in front of us, and having voices in our heads telling us to slay the princess. I don't think they mean it in modern terms.
Slay!
But actually taking the life of a princess locked up in a basement in the middle of the woods. This sounds like something out of a Mystery Unsolved podcast episode rather than a rom-com. But besides the point, with the voice in our head convincing us that we have to slay the princess, I in demon fashion.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
If there's anyone who gets to be the obnoxious narrator, well, that's me.
It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
No, I don't want to save the world.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time. So I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
While I continue dying in the background of laughter, I try to get every opportunity that I can to piss off the narrator, who wants me to commit murder on his behalf, and his response, his reasoning, is to save the world, which he barely gives us any reason why she needs to be assassinated.
Fine. You turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess. There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will.
Again, I don't think the narrator realizes that I'm just doing this to piss them off.
And here we go. As you trek into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
But what happens if I want to see the whole world burn? Maybe I'm not the hero of the story. Maybe I'm the villain.
You've doomed us all. You know that, right? You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Of course, we die to us being difficult towards the narrator, but for me, that is a win. And as you can see, we start out with the next chapter, The Stranger, and it looks like we got another voice in our head.
We're stuck going in there. Maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar.
Oh, and I love this voice in particular. Into the cabin, fine.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. On that table is a pristine blade.
Oh, why don't I take that blade?
If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window.
Oh, I like that! Well, a good idea. I decide to take note of the mirror in front of us while the narrator tries to convince us that it's not there.
You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror.
There is a mirror.
The blade sitting on the table and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more.
That's true.
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
Oh.
I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
And I have to say, the Contrarian is good at foreshadowing things towards the end of the game.
Take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Fine, you took the knife, but you really shouldn't hold it like that. How are we supposed to hold it? The other way, thumb at the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom. Doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice.
They're settling our differences on how to hold the knife.
Ah, yes, do it! Seriously. You throw the blade at the window, glass showering the cabin as your weapon flies out into the night.
Oh, and I love having the choice to do so, which only serves to disappoint the narrator. And as we enter the basement, we are greeted with crazy stairways that are weaving in and out. I get the feeling this may be due to my previous choices, and somehow it had affected the second time around.
Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
Oh, wow. And wow indeed.
No, thank you. Such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We're
Awesome.
gonna have a weapon.
Yes, we threw it out.
We tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? The fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Well, we cheered on by his suggestion. We made our choice with the harsh stairs.
The air around you grows cold the further you progress. At first, a barely noticeable drop, quickly evolving into a numbing cold. Your toes feel like blocks of ice. Your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor.
Okay.
You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Redemption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing,
Wow.
pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you just going to stand there?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways.
Agreed, Contrarian.
Princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side.
She's
of the
like,
basement.
well, what the hell are you doing
Don't
there?
forget why you're here.
Why are we here?
And why are we here again? You're here to... He's just being an ass. We remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
And from here on, chaos ensues as we question the princess. Yeah, we gotta go to the...
I know. I've been watching you stare at me for a long, long time.
Wow, whoever's the voice actress is really good.
The shadows recede, revealing the princess's face. I don't think she likes us. Wouldn't you be skeptical of someone stumbling in here if you were her? We lost ourselves the second we stepped into this place. I don't know how long she's been here, but I can't imagine it would be easy for her to trust anyone. Those eyes, though, so sharp. It's just deception. Don't buy into it. You can do this.
It's okay. Don't worry. Sometimes I get lost here too.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her, there is now another.
Whoa.
We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? Again? Have you been here before? Did we tell him? Nah, let him stew. Right, I'm telling him. Yeah, we've been here before, but we never went to the cabin. We just turned around and left until... It's hard to describe. Until the only thing we could see was the same cabin going on forever. And then you told us that the world ended and we died. And then we woke up, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with all the rest of it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given.
Nope.
New plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Now that's a plan worth listening to.
And what's that supposed to mean? Are you trying to get under my skin? There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago.
I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start? We'd always start by retrieving the blade. The one he made us throw out the window. I wasn't the one who threw it. Come on, you told us to. Don't try to pass the blame now that it's come back to bite us. Well, if I'd known we'd be dealing with this, maybe I wouldn't have been so hasty with my suggestions. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her.
Let's
It
do
certainly
it.
looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop stalling. You're obviously just making things worse.
What, like you need me to hold your hand and tell you everything's okay? You're not really cut out for this, are you? Why are you even here? Probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here.
Yeah.
That's not right. Go on. Take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions.
Beautiful.
You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this
Yeah!
what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
And in truth, she is my kind of mess.
You not have anything witty to say? Could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating.
That is true.
Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others, they just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong.
She turned into a monstrosity!
Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere.
While the princess disappear, we see the mirror again, with the voices not wanting me to get too close to the mirror.
Don't do this.
Yes, we're gonna do this
It's
before.
different now. It feels, I don't know, final. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
Voices feel small and distant as you approach. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone. But the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. Well, I mean, I imagine that's how I'd probably look like as well. And it looks like the princess with the 5 heads again. And as I approach, the mysterious being, only for it to speak.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Know each other.
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
And based on the conversation with the shifting mounds, is what she calls herself, and we need to bring different princesses for her to consume. Although I was hesitant, I get a sense of serenity with this one, so I complied with her request to set out to bring more princes on her behalf.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Then goes dark and you die. Knowing that our actions have an effect on the next chapter, I made sure to carefully curate my next decision.
Be keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
That's what I did the last time.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy.
Good.
Going on. Where are we? We're dead, obviously.
The shifting mounts did not like that when I did the same decision prior, so I quickly learned and got damn serious about it.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. And it's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down. And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
And at this point, the princess seems very suspicious of us this time around. But it's not every day you're chained to the wall and to have a stranger with a blade at hand. I'd probably be on edge as well.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the... Don't you dare.
And the narrator being the life of the party as always.
You
Okay.
step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
You stare at the princess. The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
The old squinting and not blinking contest. I love it.
Charge the princess, blade in hand.
But it was all a ploy. I decided to slay her, yet she had a blade of her own. My suspicions were right. Now is the time to stab her.
Are you serious? Wounding your neck is too much for you to bear.
Die?
To the floor of the basement.
I was supposed to kill her, but then I was like, die. In my defense, I actually misclicked. Didn't really mean for that to happen, but I'm glad that I did. Also, it's another way to piss off the narrator.
And you die.
Awesome. I died again. The razor. After our deadly demise, we start over again, and we have another voice along for the ride.
This whole thing's a crock of shit.
What's
She's
that?
just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
He's armed.
That's exactly what you told us last time. When we asked you if you were sure she didn't have a weapon on her, you said you were positive she didn't. But it turns out she did, because when we charged her, she started stabbing us to death.
Sure doesn't beat the contrarian, but at least we have a mission to focus on.
The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
Say anything about a mirror.
Because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Can you two stop arguing? It's stressful enough in here without all of this extra noise.
But of course, as we approach the mirror, it disappears yet again.
A second ago.
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us. I hate this place.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the rhythmic scraping of metal coming from down below.
That's right. Scraping. Told you she has something. I told you.
That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody. Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
No, we're gonna
Come
kill her.
on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down. If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all. Princess falls silent, her smile unwavering as you charge across the room. Okay, she hasn't pulled out a knife yet, and her hands are still behind her back. I think we can do this. I think we can win. We just have to strike now, but make sure you keep your eyes on those hands. I don't trust her for a second. But your focus is broken by the horrible sound of metal slicing through meat. Whose meat? Not ours, right? Hers at first, then yours.
Hehe.
Oh.
What did she even hit us with? You stare down at
Oh,
your chest.
a bigger
and at the
knife?
long, thin blade shit. Absolute bullshit. With a twist of her knee and a painful squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die. On a path in the woods. No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin. The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do?
I love
Feel
this.
dizzy. Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now? The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. You have to fight.
Good. It's better that way. Without a fight, no one can win, and if no one can win, then nothing has any meaning.
Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times? This is our third? No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right? That can't be right, that's too much responsibility.
Impossibly high stakes make the fight so much better.
As the voices continued to bicker amongst themselves, I pressed forward towards the mirror, only to see the princess again.
I have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. Worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
She's got another thing coming if she thinks we're going down easy again.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas. That's right, we just have to think. There's probably an answer if we think. You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment she's across the room, blades flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you. Ow. What a surprise.
And we die yet again.
We don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die.
Well, I guess you can say this is out of the narrator's hands. And due to our previous actions, we gained more voices. Not sure if that's a good or bad thing.
This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here? This is 4. No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her.
Don't need any other voices chattering about in here. It'll just confuse us. All we need is to keep fighting.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. As long as we keep moving.
Come on, show me something new.
Okay, plan now.
Killing us, right?
Then you skewer yourself.
Thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Let's just say, After that, we ended up getting more voices than necessary until we get to chapter 4. Mutually assured destruction. Oh god, I love it.
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin and we'll take it from here. Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what if we throw it out the window?
Over my dead body.
That
Oh
won't
god.
be very hard. We've died a lot.
Mm.
I can't say I mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful woman?
To be honest, I realized that the more voices that we gathered through this ordeal, it makes our character less productive for some reason.
Orator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only...
Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along.
Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs? Or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this.
I guess that's one upside to it, not hearing the narrator.
Fine. You make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again, I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
You're gonna say what she does? Oh, do you want me to talk now? Oh, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
I don't trust her.
Princess's skin twists, splitting.
Oh,
into
dang.
red
Oh,
ooze
God.
of
Oh, my
warmth
gosh.
As it stretches and tears.
Oh dang.
Then it erupts.
Erupts?
She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
You look beautiful. And it seems like the voices in my head agree as well.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely divine.
Yes, behold the perfect woman.
Do you think we can throw her out the window? Painful.
How is she still alive?
Heart's still beating, that's all she needs.
You just have to kill the heart.
This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it.
The voices talking amongst themselves, unsure what to do next.
It's so quiet.
We did the same to the narrator.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
You don't act, and yet through that inaction, your body moves on its own. The princess strikes as you approach, but as her blow finishes its arc, you're already somewhere else.
You're incredible.
Your weapons clash again and again. You and her are entering a rhythm free of thought and free of self. There is only the dance, the ebb and the flow, the shifting of the tides back and forth between you. And deeper you fall into your play, the faster your heart pounds, and the faster the momentum volleys between you. And endlessly building a crescendo, and then an opening. Your blade strikes free of volition, and hers strikes too. Both strikes are lethal. Neither of you will survive, but neither of you fear what's to come. This is a good ending. The dance done between the two. She is now taken by the shifting
Yay.
mounds. And I asked her
You
what she
awesome.
thought of this one.
This one is sharp and single-minded. She is cruelty, but she is also joy. She will make for an indomitable heart.
After I asked her that question, I'm thrown back into the void as I continue to bring her more of them. So we're back again, with the usual narrator spouting his words as I continue towards the cabin. And this time, I decide to leave the knife at the table. And there's the princess again. I hesitated on letting her out and pester her about the current situation of things.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
She did.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
What I do doesn't really matter, right? At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less. That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, so I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
I guess I should have taken the knife prior. So in a split second, I head back, grabbing the knife with the princess yelling behind us.
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here. Fine, turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip these chains.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here, but do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation.
We head back downstairs, only to be greeted with a lone hand in the middle of the room.
Arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall, and she is nowhere to be seen.
And unsurprisingly, she catches us by surprise, but of course we fight back. But as a result, we both die.
You think this is it? You're sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
Your grasp on the blade weakens. It slips from your numb fingers, lying uselessly on the floor. This can't be how it ends, right? I'm sorry, but it is. You aren't making it out of this basement, but at least you finished the job. Everything goes dark,
And you die.
and you die.
Back again with the narrator's voice, blind to the fact that we already did everything prior, but another challenger approaches.
Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than... Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue. Bit of the old brain fog. I meant
I
to
love
say
this guy
we should
too.
Probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
In truth, I do like this voice in particular, but let's forget about that bit and move on towards the cabin.
A of the cabin is a mess of
Oh,
twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood
That's pretty
almost
cool.
as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room.
While the narrator describes the ornate environment of this place, we see a mirror again and touch it for it to disappear, with the narrator scoffing at our ridiculousness again.
Grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea.
It's true. As we descend, we hear the princess.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. Violence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break.
At the same time, the voices in our heads talk amongst themselves, and the narrator figures out that we've met the princess already, finally.
One hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
Made a comment back in the woods about having been here before. Now she's acting like the two of you already know each other. You've already been here, haven't you? That's
Many
pretty
times.
sharp. How'd you figure that one out? It's deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true.
After their little squabble, I'm left with more choices as usual. We should team up.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all. And unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
Oh, of course. They're nothing to me.
The prince could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest.
I this time wanted to help the princess, despite her tone of voice sounding nefarious.
She never breaks eye contact, even as the two of you find yourselves face to face. She's silent for a long moment, as if testing to see what you'll do now that she's within arm's reach.
Okay.
After you, darling. You're the one it lets come and go. It's best if I follow.
Oh no, we can't have that. If anyone is going to turn their back on anyone else, she's going to turn her back on us. It doesn't matter who leads and who follows. We're working together here. Well, if it doesn't matter, then she can go first. We may be in this together, but that doesn't mean we have to trust her.
As I looked into her animal-like eyes, I got the nagging feeling that she may stab me in the back.
Your stink is the stink of a wretch, but not of a liar. If I have to go first, I'll go first. But I'll have you know my ears are sharp, and I've got eyes on the back of my head. They'll be watching.
So with a few more steps in, the opportunist wanted us to stab her in the back.
Time, boys! Stab her in the back! Do it! Do it now! Wait, I thought we were helping her escape. Of course we're not. You didn't buy all that noise I was putting down, did you? I was just waiting for a moment for us to strike. She has it in for us, you know.
Though with the choices at hand, I decide not to. But...
There. You better not try anything. I know you're thinking it.
Us? No, never. I can't believe she'd even suggest that. The gall. The princess reaches the top of the stairs and crosses over the threshold, turning back to smile at you.
I want to see.
Bye-bye, you loathsome little nuisance.
I
She
figured.
slams the door on you. Its lock swiftly clicks into place.
Ah.
Maybe not stabbing her in the back wasn't such a great idea.
And somewhere in the back of my head, I knew it. But I still went with the choice anyways. Okay, we
Why
die.
isn't he saying anything? I think he's gone.
The narrator gone, we see the princess again, nervous at the sight of us.
Gonna have to see you face to face again. Otherwise, I might have given you a little more courtesy at the top of the stairs. No hard feelings, I'm sure. Why is everything going away? I feel cold.
Yay, it's taking her. And of course, we see the mirror again. With the voices freaking out over the mirror, I told them that it'll be okay as they disappear as well, bringing us back to the shifting mounds. And I asked her what she thinks of this vessel in particular.
This one is hope, marred by bitterness. She could see the end of the tunnel, and the door was closed on her. She will make for a righteous and weathered heart. Do not mourn her. She is finally on the other side.
With our conversation done, I continued to look for more of them. We play with the usual scene, but this time I want to be as efficient as possible, you may say.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me?
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
I got you, didn't I? Because in this loop, I wanted to have very minimal talking this time around to see what would happen if I actually followed along with the narrator's plan. But as you can see, she was very speechless at our actions. And just like you, my fellow audience, we're very surprised as well.
Even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over?
So with everything done, I tried to leave on my own accord, but...
Ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain toil, where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago. The only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
If you remember, a couple of playthroughs prior, he did promise us a reward. You could say that his definition of reward differs very, very vastly from a normal human's definition.
Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey, we're not just gonna stay here forever, right? I do, but you're probably not going to like it.
And based on that dialogue, I kinda got a sense what he's trying to allude to, with the narrator whining in the background about our decision.
Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate.
And yet he narrates it. Oh, the irony.
First time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
As the narrator continues to talk, well, I continued to freak out, why am I here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, if he doesn't remember what happened, that's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
And you could say that this voice is sunshines and rainbows based on the way he talks, and sprinkle in a little bit of Friedrich Nietzsche. And continue down the path. I took knife while I descend down the path, with the narrator describing the hallway as usual.
Coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Oh god.
The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. Much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure.
And with that done, we find the princess's bones on the floor, with the narrator in utter confusion.
To view a skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal.
Oh, cool.
And
She's a
finally,
ghost.
Ghost! Oh, wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Well, everyone is freaking out. And yes, it's the princess in ethereal form. Is that how you say it? Anyways, the voices continue to talk amongst them. And with the suggestion by the cold one, I decide my best to stab the form, but of course...
It's like you're slashing at air. No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
You're adorable when you're confused. But I didn't say you could touch me.
And yeah, she's a fucking ghost. Not fucking surprising.
You're making it hard for us to kill her body. But those bones look very, very real. Maybe burying them would put her to rest. Don't take any piece of her.
Those are just bones. They aren't me. Bury them, destroy them, whatever. That dusty pile of death is just a reminder of what you've done. It's not a fix for anything. You don't look dead, killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And yet she can take a hold of our physical body. Kind of unfair, to be honest.
I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him.
Ah!
I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
That is a great idea. But before I let her possess our body, I question her what she intends to do as soon as I brought her out.
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over. She is right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
No.
I don't know. I just wanted to leave. I still just want to leave. The only thing I've ever wanted was to leave this place. It's still the only thing I want.
It does. We're not asking you. We've heard your whole speech already.
I really don't know. I'm not lying to you. I promise.
Well, enough questioning on my end. I decide to let her possess my body, with the narrator in utter shock with our decision.
Thanks for the body, killer.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over? Afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Get up. You've still got a job to do.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
So, it doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor?
Are they also supposed to be you?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass.
Yeah? Go on. Finish the thought. What are you?
I'm a voice. I'm me is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
Do you have to deal with this annoying bickering all the time?
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
Hopefully they'll all go away once we leave this place. I don't know how you can tolerate all of this noise.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
So you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there, like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
Kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
Oh, shut up. Stop trying to manipulate everyone. Or don't, actually. It doesn't really matter. Because you won't be around to do this for much longer.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
Extreme. There's too much
Then
noise.
Don't think. Just move.
One way or another, this is all going to end. Wouldn't it be nice if he ends with it?
I guess we'll just have to see what happens when we leave. But if I'm stuck in here, I'll be making some renovations. It's too crowded.
After that bickering is done, I decide to head upstairs and reach the door with the narrator narrating our every move. I bet he is seething through his own teeth. Game.
Drop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices. Your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
It's because he can't stop me. Why do you think he sent you here?
I hate to admit it, but she's not wrong. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate. And whine. You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across
But I
the
love the fact that they're
floorboards,
arguing.
heavier.
The princess is here.
Finally. Finally.
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle. But you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will. Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling. Let's see what happens next.
Yes, let's see. Open the door.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. You collapse to the ground, you and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see... yes?
Nothing. He's gone. And so is everything else.
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming. I suppose.
With the narrator finally gone, the princess decides to leave our body now.
Let's see if I'm stuck with you forever.
Picking up pen. You feel lightness in your chest as a pair of sunken eyes emerge from your body and you stare up at you.
Guessing not. All's well that ends well, right? You lived up to your end of the bargain, so I'll live up to mine. Thanks.
Don't mention it.
I think this is where I'm meant to be.
The princess disappears out of sight with the shifting mounds taking her, while the voices freak out again, except the cold one. I get the sense that he knows what's up.
Okay. Whatever makes you happy.
And as we reach past the mirror, we find the shifting mounds again, and this time we asked her opinion on this particular vessel.
It's vaporous. She is a dream for a life she could never have. But that longing has given her so much capacity for kindness. She will make for an understanding heart.
With no question asked, I believe we only need one more princess to complete this ritual. Everything goes dark and you die.
You're here to slay her. If you don't...
I mean, do I really need to show this part to you? Let's just skip to the part where we get inside. That's much better. As I pass the table, leaving the knife behind, ignoring the demands from the narrator, we hear none other than...
Hello? Is someone there?
Is hypnotizing. Don't let it fool you.
I exclaim that I'm here to rescue her, and she responds positively.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She's beautiful.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here.
Based on that suggestion, I went up back the stairs, only for it to close on us.
What else here? You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
And with our beloved princess, we already know that she can rip her arm away, just like that.
She hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth as she rips her flesh from her body. It's the blade from upstairs.
So the knife appears out of nowhere. Very convenient. So I aided her in her request, leaving the hero dumbfounded.
Didn't so much as utter a sound. She smiles softly as her gaze. How is she still...
Thank you.
And the narrator pissed at our actions. But of course...
Wait, this isn't fair. Watch me.
What are you doing?
I warned her, the narrator getting much more frustrated with me.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
And in turn, I let her stab my character, as we die looking into those eyes.
From you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark. And you die.
Damsel. We wake up again, narrative oblivious, for the 100th time, as always, and our buddy the hero reminding us that we should just, let him be. And of course, another voice pops up.
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
In all honesty, just like the contrarian, this one is really my favorite. Not just the fact that he has a theatrical presence, but the thing I connect with this one the most is how much of a romantic idiot he is. And I love it.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
As we continue towards the cabin, we find ourselves in a very ornate-like interior. It's like something out of a Disney movie.
Threaded tapestries, a prison befitting.
We have to look at the mirror, you guys. We have to look at the mirror.
Of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Before we even give him a chance to talk anymore, we touch the mirror 100th time, because why the hell not at this point, and left the knife in place as we descend downstairs.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
At this point, I think the narrator is gaslighting himself.
Is someone there?
Her voice, it's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess.
Love this.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
And again, I love this romantic idiot.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Do you hear that? She said we're dashing, and she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it?
And with that information, the narrator comes to realize.
Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before. That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time.
No, we're not going to listen to you.
Damned a whole world. But everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. And you can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible. Horrible for you, maybe. But we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Continue to make conversation with the damsel on what exactly happened prior.
You died, and now we're talking.
Very chipper than ever. But now the question is, how do we get her out of her bindings?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
I guess we have the answer to that already.
No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird? She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
While the others continue to debate amongst themselves, I asked her if she ended the other world that we were prior.
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
And of course the narrator being the party pooper as ever.
At least you're being honest. I can't believe that the fate of the entire world has been left in the hands of a nihilist.
Optimistic nihilist, to be exact.
Me too. I don't care.
She wasn't
Awesome.
confused for long.
While the others continued to talk and talk, I did the most heroic thing and slip her hands out of the bindings.
You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked.
Oh, but it did. As we continue up the stairs, the narrator slams the door on us.
Quite interesting, the door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no. Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. Blech. And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me? I told you our love was insurmountable. Blade, that's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
With the narrator attempting to dissuade me, but the contrarian part of me.
Every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin. And then you step outside.
Love will set you.
A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
We bid goodbye to our princess again as the shifting mounts take her. I comfort the voices one last time and approach the mirror to meet him. Then another track forms, another and another, turning into mirror, just broken glass. Question the narrator, what's his purpose for all of this? For wanting me to slay the princess? Although, to be honest, I didn't feel like listening to him. So instead of hearing him yap away, I decided to Google why exactly did he wanted the princess to be dead. According to Wikipedia, killing her would prevent the death of the universe and allowing its inhabitants to live forever, but also prevent new life and growth. I'm guessing he's not too fond of the theory of evolution. Anyways, as we had enough of listening to the bird talk, I asked my last question.
Well, there's no reasoning with a god. Even one you've woven into existence yourself.
Also, we're both gods. And thank God he's gone, and we finally meet with her.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me.
She's like, what, Medusa or something?
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
Miss you too. And then patiently waits. Unova.
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never. When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play.
And
So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning?
leave or where to go.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words.
As I take her hand, unsure of what will happen next as we step into infinity. Yay! We broke the reality. Just, you're free and she is with you.
It's magnificent.
Man, that's really trippy. No words, no thoughts to describe the absolute reality. Something that simply is. What happens now?
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
You and she steps forward into the 1,000 of daws and the 1,000 sunsets of each, which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you're aware, just as you always have been, just as you will always be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. Yay! Again, it's not the type of game that I would play on this channel, and I'm not really one for visual novels, but this one surprised me. It's the fact that it had a loop mechanic and how our choices affect the next chapter is what drew me in. Overall, it was great, and I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Guess what's next in my reincarnation list? Maybe in the back of some shoddy club with idiom blaring in the back while playing Russian roulette with some sort of godlike being.